Hello, friends. I have a friend who likes pretty jackets. I'm making my friend a pretty jacket using McCall's L9507 pattern. I start by smoothing the fabric and cutting the pattern. The fabric that I am using is a blue, stretchy knit polyester fabric. The fabric is a velvet but has transparent floral patterns throughout. Since the fabric is a lightweight knit, it's a little challenging to work with because it likes to move around a lot. But my friend picked the fabric out specifically for this pattern, so I will make the fabric work. I've used this pattern before 3 other times. This will be the fourth project that I have completed and gifted to someone using this pattern. McCall's L9507 is an easy pattern to use, and I recommend it for beginners. Hitch, hitch, hitch. I then pinned the back two panels together. These few steps took an hour on their own, mainly because the fabric was hard to smooth out and lay flat together. I then selected a matching thread from my stash. I'm glad that I didn't have to buy a thread. Having everything you need on hand is very handy. I drew chalk lines on all the seams to follow while I'm sewing. Sometimes when I'm making an item for myself, I just wing it and I don't worry about drawing chalk lines. All my seams were stitched using a back stitch. The back panels took an hour and 40 minutes to stitch together by hand. I didn't keep perfect record of how long this project took, but I believe 20 hours is a close and fair guess for how much hand stitching went into this project. If you have a sewing machine, this project would be way faster. Unfortunately, I do not have a working sewing machine. However, hand stitching is very relaxing to me, so I enjoy doing it. How do you feel about hand stitching? Let me know in the comments. Also, do you enjoy watching hand stitching? I cut hours of hand stitching out of this video or you would have been here all day. Once the back panels are sewn together, I pinned and sewed a side panel. After securing a side panel, I joined the shoulders together. I'm not sure why I decided to sew one side panel and then the two shoulders and then the other side panel, but that's what I did. So once the shoulders are complete, I attach the other side panel. The sleeves were the next task to accomplish. A problem that I contemplated the entire first half of this project was what to do about finishing off the seams. The fabric is transparent in many places, meaning that you'll likely be able to see any of the rolled seams from the outside of the garment. But finishing the seams properly is a must. Visible unfinished seams would have been a tragedy. My friend commonly rolls her sleeves, meaning the inside of the sleeves is visible. So I started by finishing the seams on the inside of the arms while I considered my options for the rest of the garment. I rolled and whip stitched the seams on the inside of the arms. And I think the seams came out nicely. In the end, I rolled all the seams and whip stitched them all down. Would you have finished them differently? Let me know in the comments. To finish the seams in the rolled manner, I cut down one side of the seam allowance to about half the normal allowance. This pattern has 5/8 inch seam allowance, so I have plenty of room to work with. Then I roll the untrimmed seam allowance over the trimmed seam allowance, and I pin the roll down, and then I whip stitch the rolled seam allowance into place. I like to use my block when I'm finishing seams. The block gives the fabric a nice lift, and in the case of the sleeves, the block ensures that I do not accidentally stitch the fabric to itself. After finishing the seams in the sleeves, I do the same to the shoulders, followed by the sides. With all the internal seams completed, I rolled the hem of the sleeve and whip stitched them down. Okay, this is where we are progress-wise. We have both sides sewn together, and we have the insides finished. We also have the center back finished. We've completed both sleeves. We've got the outside hem together. We've got the sleeve edge stitched together. Our goal for today now is to try to stitch the sleeves into place. We're going to stitch the neckline using binding tape to keep it nice and sturdy. Then we'll have to find a nice place to hang our garment so that we can sew the hem. nice and evenly. Then our final step will be to roll the side edges and secure those. I just want to say that the hardest thing about filming is all the noises in the background that you never even noticed. It's like as soon as you go to turn on your camera, you start hearing a million noises. I don't know if you can hear that loud machine sound in the background. I don't even know what it's to. Maybe somebody's mowing their lawn, who knows, but it's super loud. And I think it was in my video clips from this morning as well. Got the first sleeve attached, so let's go ahead and get the second sleeve attached. I now have the second sleeve completely sewn together. All right, so I got my bias tape pinned into the collar. I'm just going to whip stitch through both layers on the top side and then on the bottom side. So that's the goal. I've done this before, so no fear. I did need extra pins, so I had to go get my second slipper, so that way I had more pins for my bias tape to be pinned in on the collar. You can see the collar is stitched in. We've got the lower hem stitched up. So the last thing that we have to do now is turn the sides in and stitch them. These are really long sides because they're the full length of the garment, so they are going to take a while, and I've got 2 of them. All right, we've got one side completed. Now we have to go pin the other side and stitch it down. Do you think my friend will like her new jacket? Like and subscribe, or let me know why you didn't. God bless and have a great day.